Hello, and welcome to Possibilities, the show where we give people living with a variety of different abilities and their loved ones a space to share their lives with the world. Thank you for joining us today, and here's your host, Danny Steeves.
Thank you, Randy. Welcome to today's episode of Possibilities. It's been a bit since I have been on the air, but I'm finally back after a small hiatus. I'm really sorry about that, but I was dealing with some personal issues, but I'm back, so I'm ready to get going. So, over the next few months here on Possibilities, I'm really gonna be, I'm going to be talking to parents with with individuals parents of individuals with disabilities. Sorry about the mess up there. But I really want to focus on that 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 niche because I think it's a big one, and I think that parents are important for a to highlight on this show because they just they are already that they may have, so that oh, so that being said, sorry, I'm a bit nervous about being that, so bear with me on this intro. Like I said, I'm really gonna be focusing on parents over the next few months on the show because I think parents are a really important piece of the puzzle when it comes to people with disabilities because they take care of the individual 24/7, or then they have a small part in the parents in the individual's life, but they are still important. So I'm gonna begin a series where I talk to parents and get their stories. Today's parent to kick off the series is Velma Hamilton. Now Velma has a daughter named Cindy, who's been in a group home for 20 plus years. And I want to talk to Velma today about Cindy as a person and how having a disability, having a daughter with a disability, really, can really change your outlook on life and how, how being, being the fact that Velma has put her daughter in a group home so many years ago. I want to see if anything has changed over the last little over the last 20 years. So we'll be talking about that a lot on the show today. And also Velma also sits on the board for community living. So we will be talking about community living a bit. So this should be a really interesting interview coming up here with Velma. So she's not quite here yet. So I will take a bit of a break and catch my breath and then be back with Velma Hamilton. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Possibilities. Joining me now is Velma Hamilton. She's a mother of a daughter with a disability, and she also is on the community living board for North Perth, and I known her for a long time. So welcome to the show, Velma. Welcome to the show, Velma.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. So I first wanted to hear your story because you have a daughter named Cindy, and Cindy is in first, can you tell me a bit of your story and how your life has been impacted by Cindy?
Okay. Well, Cindy was our firstborn child, born into our family, and she just had a birthday yesterday, in fact, and she's 56 years old. So when Cindy was born, it was a different world. They had just opened up they had opened up places for people with disabilities, and that's when Midwestern, it was a big place that people went with disabilities, and Midwestern Hospital was opened up. And so at that time, when Cindy was born, that seemed to be what people and doctors suggested that people like Cindy would go to. But we opted not to make that decision. She was our child, and we kept her at home. And so Cindy was born with a cleft palate, and at the time club feet. And then at 18 months old, we learned that she had learning disabilities as well. And so she learned to walk, not totally on her own, but she learned to do things on her own. We had a lot of professional help. And at 5 years old, she started school in the Atwood school. And I guess, she was 6 years old when she actually started. It was just around her birthday that she started. And she was there until she was 21 years old. So as far as affecting my family, I don't think we were affected a lot. She brought a lot of positive things to our family. They learned that life wasn't easy for everybody, and everybody had their trials, and she made a lot of good friends, and my mother was amazing to help us that with her, and she suggested different exercises and so on. So I don't think it was a negative thing in our family. I think she brought very positive to a lot of people, not just our family, but others as well. Do you want me to proceed of, like, when she was 25, she moved into Listowel? Is that where we're going, or?
Yeah. Tell me about that experience.
Okay, so when she was 21 years old, she wasn't able to go to school anymore, and you know all about that. So then we had some people coming into our home and doing some daily routines and taking her out. And at that time, there were no openings at the community living in Listowel. So we went through quite a process of getting her some support in Listowel, and I had some really good people helping me to get that support and write letters to the government and write letters to the ministry. And so when she was about 25 years old, she moved into her home, which she's in now, in Nickel Street, Nickel Avenue in Listowel. So she's been there for about over half of her life, and I think things go pretty well there. It was hard to let her go because we went from having our own full time to her living in somebody else, another place full time, and it was a tough one because there was a lot of time. She could never be left alone, so there was always someone with supervision in our home.
Yeah, absolutely. When you first made that decision, what was that like for you as a mom? You talked about that a bit, but can you expand on that a bit? What was that experience like for you? Because I imagine it would be a tough one to let your daughter go into a group home.
Yep, it was like a roller coaster ride. It was really exciting that she was going into a new home and that she was getting 24-hour support and that we could come and go as we pleased. But also it was our first child to leave home, and it was letting go. And that was really, really tough. It was not just hard on me, but it was hard on our other members of our family. The other two children, she has a brother and a sister, and they had never known life without her. So it was a big adjustment for all of us, but we were very, very thankful that it was only in Listowel that we could have her home whenever we wanted. And it was just 10 minutes away. So
Yeah.
yes, it was really tough. Yeah.
So how is Cindy doing? How is Cindy doing now with COVID and everything?
I think Cindy's doing better than we are. I think Cindy's day to day and come and go. And we were in to see her on Sunday, but only could look at her through the patio door. She looks great. She looks really contented, but it's been really hard on us, the rest of us, because we can't have her home for family functions, and we've missed so much of that. I think Cindy seems to be contented because that's the life she knows. She's been there over 25 years, and when she does see us through the door, she wants out to come with us. But all in all, I think she's probably faring better than her other family.
Yeah, what, speaking as a mom, what, I think I know, but what are your emotions like when you see her like
that? That depends on the day too. Because it was close to her birthday, it was very emotional. But yet when I walked away and she seemed very contented and she looked amazing, that's a good feeling too, because then she's not indicating that she wants out of there. Sometimes she would indicate she just wants out for a car ride, but she was contented. But it was emotional for me because I didn't get what I wanted, which was having her home for her birthday.
and how long has it been since she's been home for a family function?
We had her home on the 13th of November. It was a Friday night. We had her outside in our shed because she can't come in the house. And that's the last that we've had her home. And it was only for a couple hours because it was in the evening.
Yeah, and when you do have her home, do you have to take precautions because of COVID or not?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody that's close to her needs to put their mask on. Out in our shed, it's a heated shed, and we have in that shed we have old office chairs with wheels on. So we like to put her in one of the office chairs, and then she wheels around to each person to visit.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I'm just wondering how, like, I will get back to COVID in a minute here, but first of all, how, if someone is listening to this, how do you think having being, if you were to start the process all over again, what would be different between now and 20 years ago when you put her in a group home? Would there be much difference?
Oh, yes, yes, because there's no such thing as people getting in 24/7 support anymore. I, well, I shouldn't say that because there really is. People are getting 24/7 support. I think it's still a big struggle for families to get that kind of support for people to move into independent living. It's just, I don't think that part has really changed for families. I think it's just a big struggle, and you just can't quit. You've got to work for what this person needs so they have quality of life.
Absolutely. And do you think um that Cindy is getting that quality of life when COVID is on, or what's your opinion on that?
I think it could always be better. I think that because Cindy's a quiet little person, I think sometimes she gets falls through the cracks maybe, because she doesn't demand getting out and she doesn't demand the attention that others could. But I like to think that she's getting quality care. But there are days I struggle, and but she seems to be very happy.
If you don't mind me asking, what kind of things do you struggle with when it comes to her care?
I struggle with the fact that I think she could be out more doing things. I struggle that because she lives with two other ladies, some days if they don't want to do it and there's not enough support, then nothing is done. And that's what I struggle with, that I just wish she could be more busy out doing things, but it's not there. The supports, it's the dollars aren't there to provide the supports.
Yeah. And we'll get back to that in a minute here, but what has been, in your mind, what has been the most rewarding part of having a loved one with a disability?
What's rewarding?
Yeah.
The love she gives beyond what anybody could ever imagine. She just, and you can tell, even though she doesn't speak a lot, but you can tell she speaks with her actions, and she wants to hug. The last time she was home, anytime I've been in there recently, she wants to sit on my knee like a baby and just be hugged. She's pretty lovable.
Yeah. And not and what and how I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How do you think COVID has changed your has your relationship with Cindy changed at all because of COVID, or because she's in a group home?
I don't think my relationship has really changed with her. other than the fact that we don't physically see her and visit with her. I think Cindy knows us when she sees us. It's not that she has forgotten us. And we have tried to be there as much as we could. We've had visits on her outside on her deck. I've taken her for some walks with her wheelchair. So I don't think that things have really changed, even though she's in a supported home, but also with COVID. I think no, I other than the fact that we don't physically see her. We can call in, but we can't talk to her because she doesn't respond. But other than that, yeah, I think it's good.
The COVID has been really hard on everyone. Not
It sure
yeah,
it sure has.
not just not just family, not just you, but everyone.
Mhm.
But would you say that COVID has been more hard on people with disabilities, or what's your point of view on that?
I can only speak for how I feel with Cindy's house,
Yeah.
but I think by in her home, the supports have been longer shifts, and I think that's for the better. I think that they used to have 2-hour shifts with people coming in, and now because staff can only work at one place and at one person's home, so they now go in probably 4 to 8 hours, and I think that's better. It's more like family where, you know, you got your mom there for the day, and she knows what you've done in the morning, and if you should be busy. Where staff coming in on a 2-hour rotation, I don't think it has as many bonuses as having someone on a longer shift, and I think that's been better. And I think it's been noted that it's been better, but when you go back and people working back with their people, then it goes back to the other way. But no, I think that has been the one bonus for Cindy.
Yeah, absolutely. What would be going to your community living board? You're on the board, so what would you like to see community? Is there anything that you would like to see community living more of doing different when it comes to caring for people, or getting them out in the community, etc.?
Definitely. I've always said that first of all, we need to help families in the direction of the Ministry for Supports. Families are not educated in the ministry to know how to get that. We need to have the right people walking with families to give them direction for supports. And yes, we have a lot of people that need to be out in the community, but we also have a lot of very lonely people that we support. Living alone, at the time it looks great, but I don't think people really need to live alone. I think you need to have someone, even though you don't always get along with them. It can be a pretty lonely life, and I feel we do have lonely people out there, and I really see some positive things happening with our board right now. I also have made many good friends through the Community Living Board. It's been a very learning experience, and I'm hoping that my shift will soon come to, it is slowing down. So I'm thinking I'm not that involved as I once was.
Yeah. Like, but don't you think that don't you think that COVID has really put a damper on the whole community living? And don't you think that they could do better when it comes to letting people see their family members or doing activities?
Because I don't work that closely with this type of thing, Danny, so I can't honestly say. I do think that that we need to do more activities, and group activities I have never had a problem with. Unfortunately, we went through about 15 years ago where they looked at one-to-one supports, and I don't think that's all for everybody. I think we need some group supports. I think we need to get people out with friends who they can communicate with, and I'm hoping that when this COVID goes to rest, that we do see more group things. They did start doing things up at the office, and then that came to a halt. But I know that they're doing some things over at the Parkview Gardens, and I like to see that. And just more things available for people to go to, and more ideas coming up. But we definitely could do better on that. I know some people have looked into different community livings and what they do, but then COVID came. So I'm hoping with the new executive director that we have, she has some awesome ideas, and I'm hoping that she can enforce them.
Yeah, absolutely. What would your message be? What would your message be for someone who has a child with a disability or a loved one with a disability?
What would I didn't get the question. Where would I?
What would your message be for someone?
My message?
What would your message be to someone who has a loved one with a disability?
I think my message is love everyone, whether there's a disability or not. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and love goes a long, long way. Love and understanding, and walk with them when they need you.
Yeah, good message. What I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Velma. It's been great talking to you, and thank you for your insight.
You're awesome, Danny. Thank you. Anytime.
All right.
And now we know I only get Zoom through my email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say hi to your mom. Say hi to your mom for me.
Well, if you want to hang on for a bit, we'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. That was kind of abrupt ending, and sorry if you can hear the audio a little bit, but it was a great conversation with Velma today, so thank you very much for joining me here today. I know that this was a shorter episode, but then I will be back with more episodes in the near future, and I won't leave it as long. So I'll be back soon with more episodes, and if you have if you have a story idea that you want me to look into, that would be much appreciated. My email address is dannysteeves@gmail.com, and sorry, possibilities@gmail.com, and I will be back with more episodes soon. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye for now.